Hey, Boris.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Hi. Putting together and installing a new printer.
Oh, good luck to that.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't stay long. I didn't have a parking pass. So,
did you see that parking pass?
yeah, I don't remember that at all. Did
I
we
don't
have them?
remember that. Mark sent that to me. He had two of them. He said you had to have a parking pass. And I said, I don't ever remember having a parking pass.
No,
And he started
that's
in
after we left.
65. So I don't know. I
Maybe
guess,
yeah, maybe that's after we graduated. And
yeah, I just, I never, I never thought about it. I never heard of it.
no,
So,
you doing all
yeah. So
right?
how are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good, good. Well, I think Pete's going to be late. He said he's going to come in, but he thinks, but he has a wine dinner.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys ever get together the way you were planning last time?
No, Pete got sick, and then he got better. He was hospitalized, and then he got better,
Ooh,
and
nothing
then we
serious,
were
I
going
hope.
to, and he got sick again. So I got an email from him yesterday that said he wouldn't be able to, be here at the start. He'd see if he could get in later. But he said he was doing fine now when he got a new car and he got rid of the BMW he had. He said it was just too much car. And, he was passing a truck. He said the inside of it is completely silent. It was BMW's biggest electric car. And he said the inside just completely silent. And it was passing a truck and he looked down and he was doing 130.
Oh, jeez.
And he said, you can't tell how fast you're going. So,
Was he in the hospital because he had an accident?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So here comes Gary, better known as his pseudonym Jeanette.
I'll have to give him instructions on how to change the name on his account.
I'd rather just tease him about it.
Oh, goodness.
See, I think actually she comes in and sets it up for him.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
Gary's easier to spell than Jeanette.
there he is.
Hey, Gary.
Well, good evening. How is everybody?
We're all
Good.
right.
Good.
We're all right. We were
How
just
about
talking
you?
about you and I getting together with Pete and the difficulties we've had. So,
Everybody have a good holiday?
yeah. How about you?
Ah, interesting. Real interesting.
Well, mine wasn't interesting. It was, just okay.
Yeah, well, uh, I came down with something that I don't know if it's rare or not, but it's really it unexpected. We had gone up in December for a 3-day trip up to Rhode Island on a bus trip, my wife and I. I was feeling absolutely fine. By the time I got home on the 14th or 15th, uh, I started to ache all through my back, up in my shoulders, my arms, my hands. I saw my regular doctor on the 17th on my quarterly visit. And I told him about it. He says, I don't want to send you to a a bone specialist or whatever be. He says they only handle one or two parts of the body, not the whole one. He sent me to a rheumatologist.
Okay.
And it took this lady, I couldn't see her till about the middle of January, the 15th. By that time, I was in so much pain, I didn't know which end was up. It took that lady, that doctor, probably 7 minutes to figure out what I have. And it's something that is it's going to be around me for a long time. but it was, it's not fatal, but like still every morning I get up and I am in pain. By noon, I'm fine. And dinner time, I'm fine. The only thing that still bothers me is my hands are numb. They're tingling.
What caused that?
It's called polymyalgia rheumatica. It is something that hits people in their 60s and 70s. Bring it up. Yeah.
Well, you're way past that.
Hi, Bob.
You're way past 60s and 70s.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, guys.
Hey,
and
Bob, how are you?
and now they
Here.
have me on prednisone, and I'm getting what do they call it? Not a drip. They call it infusion
Confusion.
of something once a month for several months until something can happen.
Wow.
And so it's polymyalgia rheumatica. The odd
I
part
gotta write
about
this
it,
down.
one of the we hang around with 6 couples. We have for 40-some years before some of the kids were born. And Sue, who's one of the couples, she came down a month and a half before I did with the exact same thing. She's being treated the exact same way. And
What causes it? Is it just one of those things or
it's
bug bite or something like that? Or
it's autoimmune, much like if you had psoriasis.
Mhm.
Psoriasis is when your body attacks itself.
Right.
Okay. This is what it is. It's my white and red blood cells attacking my body, but there's nothing to attack.
Wow.
So, because at one time I did have psoriasis and it was pretty bad. My brother had it about 3 years ago. That disappeared. And my dermatologist has no clue where it went or why it went. That's what this is. And I may have it the rest of my life. They're not sure. Usually it takes 2 to 3 years to get rid of it. This.
Huh.
But right now, my wrists hurt so bad around both of them.
Yeah.
My hands are numb.
Jerry, is it affecting your ability to drive or?
No, right now, fine. What it does is it affects like 4 quadrants: shoulders and arms and hands. And is 2 this way, and my back, neck. Then back here, back in the whole back, like in a quadrant. Before I saw her and got on this prednisone, I couldn't sit down, Morris. This hit me within 3 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, pain. And so, how was my December, January? It's one of those.
Yeah.
No, I can come and go and do whatever I want. I
Okay.
have no restrictions as far as
All right. Bob, how are you? How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you. How about the rest of you? Sorry to hear about you, Gary.
well, thank you very much. I didn't know whether to say anything or not, but I think sometimes it's a little amusing when I came down with this and
Yeah. Well, you
No
never know on
idea.
those things. Gary, when I had Guillain-Barré, and I couldn't dress myself, I couldn't walk, or anything. They still don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
So they have all kinds of theories, but I didn't fit any of them. I'm pretty sure I got it from an asbestos exposure.
This doctor, when my wife was in the exam room type with me. And the doctor said, let me ask the questions. What's this? What's that? Where do you hurt? How do you hurt? Lift your arm up. And I couldn't get my arms above here.
Huh.
I couldn't get in and out of bed. My wife had to. I had to have her help me dress. And within minutes, she said, you have a classic case of this. Polymyalgia rheumatica. And, but that's okay. I'll
Hey,
make
Bob, you and I have to stop hanging around with these old guys.
Yeah, you're right.
it. So what'd you guys get done over the winter?
Nothing.
Nothing? Bob, come on.
Same old. Pretty exciting life, huh?
How's the weather down there?
Well, right now it's been in the 70s. It's been beautiful.
Yeah,
We
great.
did have a pretty
Where are you,
But
Bob?
next
Refresh
week, it's
my
going to
memory.
be 40. So it's going from 70 this week to 40 next week. So
Yeah.
I'd be awful happy if it was 40 up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gary, it's not that cold.
Huh?
It's not that cold.
Oh,
It hit
yeah.
41 today.
wow.
What, down there? I was 28 in the morning when I got up. And
Yeah,
it's been a lot colder than that, 8, 9,
yeah,
15.
It's the joys of living in the north.
yeah.
Well, that's
absolutely.
true.
Well,
We
we
live
had
in the
that down
north
here.
and it's winter.
The other week, it was, wake up, take my dog out. It was 17, 18 degrees out.
That's
Good.
cold here.
Yeah, well, I tell you, my granddaughter was down in Florida, northern Florida, by Panhandle, about, I don't know, January 4th or something that way, or the following week. And it was on a softball tournament. And it was 40 degrees, when they were playing softball in Florida. It was warmer
We
up
got
there.
snow there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of my granddaughters was down in Florida for soccer viewing or whatever be, where they have games and
yeah.
colleges come and look. And, yeah, it was cold playing soccer.
How
Yeah.
about snow in New Orleans?
6 inches.
It did, yeah. They had
Yeah.
good
10
snow
inches
down
of
there.
snow. That's crazy.
Well, where are you now, Bob?
Atlanta area.
You're in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta also?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm way out of the city, but northeast of the city.
Yeah, yeah.
Where are you, Herb? Where do you live?
Just north of Atlanta.
Oh,
I
so
live in
you
Sandy
two
Springs.
get together for coffee?
I was pretty far away.
Wow, they're somewhere in between.
Yeah, we could. I mean, it's
Hey,
I
listen,
haven't
Gary,
seen.
traffic
Gary and I
down
have been,
here is, on a good day, it's terrible.
yeah,
Particularly down around you. It's awful.
Well,
well, Gary and I have been trying to get together with Pete at a restaurant near Gary because he's halfway between Pete and I. And both times we've set dates, Pete got sick. And
anybody hear how he's doing?
yeah, I got an email from him yesterday morning, and he said he's feeling fine now. Everything's healed. He passed out at an event, and well, first he had prostate cancer, and then he spent a lot of time at Johns Hopkins, and he got that taken care of. And then he was at a charity event after that, and he passed out. And he said they think that was just a lack of fluids. And so that was the first date that got canceled. Then the second date, he came down with the flu or something, and got up in the morning and was sick as a dog. So he was saying we have to reschedule. He said he'll come here, we can go there, whatever.
Either
Hey
one.
guys, it's a bitch getting old.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
Well, you youngsters,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you are, Herb. I have the paddle downstairs because you were my little brother.
You're my big brother, but
Yeah.
we were the same age.
How old are you?
I turned 78 in August.
You did?
I'll be 79 this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 81.
81.
Yeah,
Oh.
in September. Oh,
Well, Herb, I got a few months on you. April, I turned 79.
well, most of us are in the same age
Yeah.
Yeah.
grouping.
Yeah. Now, but I've heard from a few other people. You saw the notes on anybody that wanted a yearbook. And there were some of those that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know there was a 1971 yearbook.
There is a 71?
Yeah.
I'll be real honest with you. The last couple of months we've been looking, we've had, people come on and their names are on the screen. And I'm thinking, I know the name, but the face doesn't even look familiar at all. Now, you three all look the same as what you did 60 years ago, so to speak.
60 years ago.
But I found an old yearbook and I looked up some of the guys that were on and I said, oh, yeah, that's what they looked like then. That's not what they look like now.
I think we all have that same malady.
Yeah.
I could never miss his bald head because that's exactly what his dad looked like.
Well, Herb still has some hair, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
used to say to my barber, can you just cut out the gray? And he'd say to me, don't bitch about the gray. At least you have hair to cut.
That's right.
I have no gray hair and I don't dye it.
I don't either.
But no,
I've saved a lot of
71.
money on haircuts.
I don't know whether you got me the 71 or not. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But I hadn't, some of those I hadn't seen at all. I didn't know they existed. Because we used to go down to
Can you get me an 81 or a 71?
Gary, I'll send you the email. You can get them right from Mark. All you gotta do is send him a check.
How much
I don't
are
even-
they? I don't care.
If not, let me know and I'll get one for you. I think he had one.
I have a 68 or 66, 67, 68, 70, and 69. But I don't have the 71.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
if you
remember
can,
exactly.
I'll give you the money cash. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll have to add a processing fee.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna look here real quick and see here's the yearbooks.
Where do you live, Bob? I know you're north.
If you can order it, Morris.
All right, so let's see. He's got 67, two of those, 66, volume one. So that was the first one. 67, he's got three of those. 70, he has three of. 68, two, 69, one. The Monument, 66, I guess two of those. One that says the Hiram Scott College Monument, 1971. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, 71, volume six. That was the last one. I didn't even know there was one.
71. Yeah.
And then he's got like 467. So he's apparently got one for each year, but I had never heard of the the 71.
Do me a favor if you will, because you're good at computers. You know the guy.
Yeah.
Just
What one do you want, Gary?
71.
All right.
I had a 69, 70.
And these are all limited editions. He's going to sell them and make a lot of money.
No, for Believe it or
weren't
not,
out there in
some nights-
71, were you,
sometimes
Gary?
I open up just to see where people were, whether they graduated, they didn't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I do that with high school because several of us stay in contact.
yeah.
And I get out in 63, so, um, you know,
All right. Well, when did you come out there, Bob?
First year.
First year 65?
Yep. And for a fact, Gary and Sav were my roommates at Skinner.
Oh, you
Mhm.
poor guy.
Yeah.
yeah. Barry and I came out in October of 65,
Yeah.
and the
Mhm.
first yearbook is 66.
Right. It was 66.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll get that for you.
What was the hotel downtown that we used as a dorm?
Park.
Park, yeah.
Yeah.
Spent some time there.
Park and the Emery,
And the other,
Yeah.
and the Emery Hotel.
Yeah.
Emery was the small one, right?
That was small.
Yeah. I started out in Skinner and then I went to Emory for, I think, one semester. And then they finished Vanguard and I went to Vanguard South.
Sam and I went on, we had 2 or 3 different apartments together over a couple of years, Sam Blades. Crazy time.
Were you in
Well,
the four
the
apartments
apartment,
that were up
one
at
of
the
them
end of the
was right
corner,
across from the
the
TKE.
house street? Were you in one of those apartments, Bob?
Yes,
Okay,
with Barry and Sam and John Yost.
okay.
And John Texter was next door in the shit house, the greenhouse.
Yeah, and
At
I
one
was
part-
in with,
I think the
I guess it
park
was
was at one
Bob.
point was a women's dorm. Wasn't it?
what's that?
Yeah, the park,
Yeah, it was a women's
Downtown?
dorm.
the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lady.
What was guys too? Oh, the park.
Yeah, I was supposed to be there the first year.
Hmm.
But we got there was nobody to let me in the room, and we talked to somebody the next day. They said, "We'll put you out at Skinner." So I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
I
Rosemary
thought
lived,
Skinner was a nice place. New.
Rosemary
What?
lived in the Park Hotel when I had my first date with her. I'd been at a party at Tamburini's house out on Avenue I, and I saw her, and I told Dale, I said, give me a date with her. And about 2 weeks later, he called me and he said, "Hey, I got you a date with Rosemary for the Christmas dance." I said, "Great." I said, "Who is that?" I didn't even remember asking. And I was sitting in a chair, a Queen Anne's chair in the lobby of the Park Hotel when she came out. And you know what? I've still got that Queen Anne's chair. It's in my living room here. So,
And he still has his queen with him.
yeah.
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
that? How many years, Morris?
This year will be 56.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How,
That's
Are
not
you
to you, that's to
married?
her.
Bob?
No,
You still
I
married?
get thank you. She gets condolences.
Yeah. What'd you ask, Gary?
Either of you two still married? How many
I am
years?
second time, been 40 years. Just had our
40?
40th second time around.
All right.
My wife and I had our 50th anniversary in January, or in June,
Yeah.
and she passed away in August. So
Right.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Really, really. We've been fortunate 52 years, so, How are you doing?
all right.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, there are times that it's I don't want to say depressing because that gets wrong connotation, but there's times that, you just say, "Where is she? When's she coming home?" And
Yeah,
it's just
I'm truly sorry.
making it was a quick.
Well, this summer I'm going to complete my North American tour. I'm going to go, Rosemary and I are going up to Vermont and visit a relative up there. Then we'll stop over in Massachusetts and visit some more relatives. And then we'll head straight east and go to Maine. Maine is the only state in the United States I've never been to. And I've been in Canada and I've been in Mexico. And so that will complete my North American tour.
Well, that's good.
So,
I've been in a lot of the states, but not nearly all 50.
yeah, been in all 50 of them. And and by 70, I was in most of them. But, no,
When anytime the rent was due, you moved.
yeah. Hey, listen, when Rosemary and I got married in 1970, I had moved 22 times in my life.
Up till then?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was born in 46, and between 46 and 1970, I moved 22 times. Since 70, this is the fourth house. Apartments, a couple of apartments, and then a couple of houses, 3 houses.
We've been married 52 years. When I got done school, I went home, lived in the house I grew up in. We got married. We lived 2.5 years in an apartment till we could get money to buy the house. And then we moved into here as a starter house. And we're still here. I mean, you've done what, 22, 24 moves?
Yeah.
I have hardly go. My mother lived in the house, that same house, 74 years, I think, before she passed. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, the oldest one in my family is my sister, 4.5 years older than I am. And I sent her a recorder. She's got 34 grandchildren, grandchildren, and great grandchildren, and 3 great grandchildren. And so I sent her a voice recorder, and she recorded a lot about her life on the voice recorder, and then I'm going to make it and send it to all of them. And she goes through every town she lived in and how many different houses we lived in that town, and so forth. And she had moved something like 36 times, even though she was only, 4.5 years
That's
old.
amazing.
Well, I've lived in 9 states.
Just,
That's always fun.
yeah.
How many states?
9.
You've lived in
What?
9?
Lots of different houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, basically, I haven't. The town I grew up in is called Magnolia. That's 15-minute ride from here. My wife is about 10 minutes where she grew up. And no, haven't moved far at all, other than good old Scotts Bluff. It was,
That was probably the furthest, growing up you'd ever been to.
what's that?
That was probably the furthest you'd ever gone.
Yeah. No, I've been in California,
Oh, okay.
Nevada, and I'd like to be able to drive from here, go out through Wisconsin, up through Idaho, Montana. Just spend a month or so doing that.
Yeah, we thought about my daughter Stacy and her husband are down in the panhandle of Texas by Dallas. We thought about driving down there because she can't fly anymore. But I figured it'd take at least 4.5 days driving. And I don't know.
If it takes 4 or
I think
5
I'm
days.
getting too old to take a trip that I have to drive 4.5 days.
No fun. No
Yeah.
fun to fly either.
No, I am
Especially
gonna
through Atlanta, don't you think, Herb?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the whole,
Yeah, I haven't flown anywhere for, I don't know, probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years.
It's a lot different.
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Although I
were,
may go
last
out
time we
there.
flew, we had to fly up to Philly for cousin's kid's wedding. And we got to the airport in Atlanta, and the line was so long they had us like going back and forth through the baggage claim area. Then we got to the one area where you're supposed to go through TSA, and they said, we're going to send you to the other terminal because it's not as crowded as this terminal. And we still waited forever to get through that terminal. And one guy in front of me said to the TSA guy, my plane's leaving in 30 minutes. And the TSA guy says, I guess you're going to miss it. Because it was just,
Just matter of factly,
oh, yeah.
just
I
you're gonna miss it.
don't really know if he was telling the truth or he just wanted to get to the front of the line. But yeah, Atlanta's airport is just
Yeah,
nuts.
I don't think I've ever flown. I've been to Atlanta, but I don't think I've ever flown. At one point in my career, I commuted to Chicago, out Monday and back Friday for a year. And I think in all that time, there was only one or two times where I couldn't get the plane. I couldn't, weather or something else. Normally it was just like, going and getting on a bus and getting off in Chicago.
Hmm.
We
But
had a good time in Chicago 100 years ago. We stopped at Bob's place,
Yeah, that was a fun time.
went down to the Playboy Club, had a grand old time, and
do
Couple
they
nice
still
buddies.
exist anymore?
I don't
I'm
think so.
sorry?
I didn't know whether the Playboy clubs exist anymore.
I don't think they do. I think it's out of business.
I have no idea. No idea. Did you guys from down south hear about the plane that went down in Philadelphia?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The jet? That's about, I'd say 7 miles, 6 miles from where I live.
no, really.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah, I've been
didn't
up
hear
in that
anything.
area many times, but what a mess that is.
And the little girl that they were taking back to Mexico
Right.
was treated at Shriners Hospital in Philadelphia. And our hospitals, we have about 7 or 8 of them, take care of kids for free. I mean, their parents have no expense whatsoever, unless they have regular insurance that would, help defray. But if they have no money whatsoever, and they had sent her up because she had cancer. And it was a life-saving thing. They flew her up from Mexico and they were taking her back. And that plane took off and was in the air about 30 seconds, 40 seconds before it went down.
Hmm.
I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine that. But that happened maybe 7 miles from here.
Thought you lived in New Jersey.
I do.
Oh,
I live probably 4 miles from Philadelphia
oh, okay.
in New Jersey. Yeah, in several areas of riding on the road, I can see the buildings in Philadelphia.
Wow.
Yeah. Every time I take somebody to the airport, we go to Philly now instead of Newark. And I pass right by the turnoff to Gary's house.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
pretty
He
compact
passed-
up there.
He passed by them.
when I
Almost to
want
my house.
to go to a baseball game,
Yeah.
Eagles game, basketball, that's 15 minutes. I go over from here, I'll go over what they call the Walt Whitman Bridge. Come right down, it's right there, 15 minutes away from here.
Do you go there?
No,
Oh,
I'm getting really dismayed with professional sports. It's just so much money in them. Just
Did
so
you get-
much money.
did you guys discuss the Super Bowl before I got on?
No, not yet.
Who's going to win? Who are you rooting for?
I really don't
I'm
have.
rooting for the Eagles,
Yes, go
Right.
Eagles.
but
You want the Eagles?
You bet. Sick of Kansas City.
Yeah.
I got my dog in an Eagles t-shirt and, she's been walking around.
Does he like it? Herb,
What's that?
does he like it?
Does
The
she like
jacket.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. looks like a regular jersey. Has Eagles name on the back, number,
Uh-huh.
and she struts around in it pretty good. So, and we get a lot of grief from the people around here, but I think they're going to have a hard time with Kansas City. I mean, they're just
Yeah,
too
I
good
tend to
and
go with
Mahomes
the Eagles.
too lucky at the end.
Does anybody know the odds? Or who's supposed to win?
The
I
last
Right,
time I
wait
read
a
it was
second.
like a
I
point and
think
a half.
Kansas City's the favorite.
Okay.
You
Series.
know, I
Yeah, I
like
think
the
Kansas
game.
City
Time
by
of
one
the
by a
Eagles,
point and a half. So it's really
Kansas City game.
Gary's checking
anybody's
with his
game.
bookie.
Yeah.
I said to my sister-in-law, who's a Giants fan,
All right, the Chiefs are over the Eagles by 1 point.
Wow. Well, I hope we have a
They're
lot of
favored
offense.
over the Eagles by 1 point.
I just hope it's a good game.
hopefully, yeah.
I hope neither one of them
But I
run
said
away
to
with it.
my sister-in-law, who's a Giants fan, you know how when somebody wins the Super Bowl, they give Super Bowl rings to everybody that had something to do with the team? She said, yeah. I said, if the Eagles win, they should give Super Bowl rings to the Giants for trading Barkley.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's cruel.
yeah.
But hopefully it'll be a good game. So
Hey, no matter who wins, there's going to be
yeah,
a lot of records set, I think.
I think
Barkley will set a record, and you know, Kansas City will set a record if they do it. And
I the reason I used to watch every sporting event you could imagine on TV. Baseball that years ago growing up. And I come to a point where when they started adding gambling, and who is the biggest sponsor for baseball, football, and some of the other sports? It's FanDuel, which is a big gambling
Yeah.
outfit. My theory is when you play with the devil, you're going to get burnt. And gambling and big sports and big money.
yeah,
You know,
the last couple of weeks, the couple refs have been fired for not calling fouls on the Chiefs when they should have been calling them. And
It's true.
yeah, it's very true.
I mean, I always say if I can spot the foul, it must be a blatant foul because
yeah.
some of it's just crazy.
You know, Gary, that's in pros. This NIL, name, image, likeness, is destroying college football. I mean, my grandson's out on a scholarship at the University of Illinois, and I mean, there are a small number of guys, 30 or 40, that are getting $1 million contracts and million plus 5, 6, 7 million as a freshman.
They're getting more than rookies in pro.
Yeah,
Just
You look at the
crazy.
Georgia quarterback this year, he got hurt. He's transferring to Miami and he got $6 million to transfer to Miami.
Yeah.
From where?
University of Georgia.
From
Carson
Georgia
Beck.
to Miami for $6 million.
Yeah.
I'd take it.
I think the worst thing, the NIL is half bad, but the transfer portal is crazy that everybody can transfer so quickly instead of sitting out a year or
Herb, I've come to the point when I'm watching pro sports, college sports. They need me more than I need them.
oh yeah,
And it's, the money in it. I don't fault the players for taking it if they're offered it.
yeah, but it's basically, as far as I'm concerned, a farm team now.
Mhm.
College football is a farm team for the pros.
No
Oh,
doubt
Herb,
about
Herb,
it.
do you recognize this?
Yeah, there you go.
no dog.
Georgia.
Go Dogs.
My daughter bought a shirt for my granddaughter that says Philadelphia Bulldogs because there's a ton of players on the Eagles team that are from Georgia. So
Yeah, their best player on the line is that he's a
Carter.
big black fellow,
Carter.
Carter. When he came out, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a few years.
But he was, and these guys are huge. I mean, they're just big.
None of them are under 300 pounds.
I don't want to get hit by anybody that is that big, 300 and some pounds, and can run faster than me.
Well, that's why I said some of the dumbest plays they have is when they're down near the goal line and they give the ball and the guy runs right up the middle, and you have these 300-pound guys that are standing shoulder to shoulder, and this littler guy who's not little, but he has to try and get through, and it doesn't usually work.
My grandson's 6'5" or 6'6", and he's 300 pounds, and
How
they want him
much?
to gain another 30.
How much does he weigh?
300, and they want him to gain another 30.
Do you call him sir?
When my older daughter was a senior in high school, she went to University of Virginia for tennis camp one summer. And it was when the football players, not for a summer, but for 2 weeks, and the football players were there in training. And she and her tennis cronies were in one dorm, and the football players were in another dorm, but they shared the same dining room. And she said to me, Dad, you never saw guys so big that would fill their trays up with food so high, and they'd eat every little bit of it. And I said, yeah, they're big guys. They have to eat. So,
Yeah. Yeah, they do feed them well.
Did your grandson play first string or
No,
in
they
this is his
redshirted him.
sophomore year?
They redshirted him the first 2 years.
Oh, first 2 years.
Yeah, and he'll probably play this year. But who knows, because stuff has just turned upside. They used to, take kids in and they would develop them. And the first couple of years, they would redshirt them and not have them play and let them grow and get meaner and so forth. And by the third year, they would typically play. If they were, outstanding, they might play sooner. But now with NIL, they're simply bringing in, they're going down to other colleges, Georgia and Alabama and every place else, and grabbing players and, saying, come on over and we'll give you a big paycheck, and building instant teams instead of developing it.
right.
So, I mean, he hasn't played, he's on the practice teams and he's gone to a couple of games on travel, but he hasn't started at a game the first 2 years, and he's getting contacted by colleges, that through the grapevines that maybe he'd like to come and play for them. So I don't know whether he's going to stay at Illinois or whether he's going to, he'll
Not that I
probably play
care
this
how
year if he
much.
stays, but he'll play wherever he goes.
Not that I care how much.
Yeah.
But does he get money to play out there?
In addition to the full scholarship, which is worth about $62,000, NIL money, he gets $35,000.
Isn't that something? Isn't it? I wasn't asking about
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
the volume.
Yeah, that's okay.
Never played
For me, I'd do it for half that price and sit on the bench.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we were saying this week with baseball season coming up. And I said, you watch the Braves down here in Atlanta, and they're good for the first 6 innings, and they bring in the relievers, and the relievers can't pitch. I said they should change the rules to make a game 6 innings, and that way at least Atlanta would win some more games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
No, the only thing I had he was home recently, and I sat down with him for about an hour, and we went through the portal and how you do it and all kinds of things. And I said, listen, you do what you want, but I said, in my opinion, um, you got to decide which is more important to you, to play football or to get a degree. And if you want to get a degree, you can stay right there where you are and wind up with a good degree from the University of Illinois. Or you can transfer to a much smaller school somewhere and play and probably not get as good a degree. I said, if you leave Illinois and in fact nobody picks you up, then fill out your application for McDonald's and start living your life. So he's got to decide what he's going to do.
Is he strong enough to get in the NFL, or does he
I
want to
don't.
go that way? Or
Yeah, I mean, I never say never to people, but I think his odds of a shot of going to the NFL are very small. He's just not mean enough and aggressive enough. And that's the main reason he hasn't played the first 2 years,
Yeah.
is because when he gets on the field, he's fine, but he doesn't, practice. He doesn't know why he practices, but I guess not as hard as he needs to, or doesn't have lunch with the coaches and, doesn't hit the gym hard enough and so forth. And so,
But still,
I said,
Well, it sounds like
you got to decide
listening to
through all the
you and
rules
getting the education.
transferring. So we'll find out. He's at a couple of schools, through the grapevine. The coaches aren't allowed to contact him, but like his high school coach contacts, different colleges and says, hey, maybe you'd like to have him and so forth. So if he wants to play, he can, if that's his goal. I said, but yeah, I said, when I moved to New Jersey, I had 1 semester to go to finish at Hiram Scott because I was going to have to go for active duty in the Army. And I was waiting to go. And I went to New Jersey Bell to apply for a job because I needed to have some kind of job. And I told him, I sat there in front of the recruiter and she was filling out everything. And she said, do you have a college degree? And I said, no. I said, I have 1 semester to go. I'm going to finish that after I do my active duty. And I told him, I watched her and she checked the application, high school graduate. I said, it didn't matter that I only had 1 semester to go. There were 2 boxes, high school graduate, college graduate.
Mm.
And I said, so if you go someplace else, you don't graduate, that's the market you're in. You're going to be in that market with nothing but a high school. And so we'll see.
I'm just curious. I have problems hearing too because of hearing aids and all that crap. But how much is the tuition at Illinois now? 62?
For an out-of-state student,
Yeah.
room and board, meals, tuition, 62.5.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
My granddaughter's a senior this year, and she was down visiting Tulane, and she liked Tulane.
Hmm.
And Tulane is 86 a year.
Yeah. Well, we've told
86.
Katie, hey, Sav, we told Katie.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm sorry, I forgot all about it. I won't
Wake
be able
up.
to stay all the time, but I thought I'd check in and say hi.
Yeah, we voted and figured that the 5th person in it has to set cheese the first $400.
He can't hear you.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry.
He was just in shock.
And so she's going to the University of Georgia. She got into Georgia, and that's where she's going.
Now, the only thing that's affordable is if you stay in the state you're in, and you're in state like Pennsylvania, you can go to Penn State cheaper than you could go across to New Jersey and go to Rutgers if you're not a New Jersey resident.
Mhm.
When my older daughter came down here to Georgia and she went here, people were saying, how can you afford to pay out of state tuition? And I said out of state at Georgia at the time was comparable to in-state Penn State. So it wasn't that terrible. But now Georgia has this lottery where the proceeds go for education. And if you graduate high school with I think it's a 3.5 or better, you get your tuition paid for.
Hmm.
So it's big money saver.
Yeah. How are you,
Hiram
Seth?
Scott Hiram Scott was what, $1,000 a year or something like that, or a semester?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, it was the most expensive school in Nebraska when it opened up.
No kidding.
It cost more than the university.
my mother was glad to pay it.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah,
$1,000? You
me
kidding
too.
me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how's the life down there in South Carolina or North Carolina?
Oh, no, me for North Carolina. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm a little slow here tonight.
That's okay.
It's
That's
good.
because
It's
he's in North
good.
Carolina.
I was able to get out and play some golf yesterday, or day before, I guess. And so it was nice. And I enjoy the weather, and we have a nice place to live. So it's really nice. I enjoy it. Now I miss, the good friends that I had, lifelong friends that I had back in Maryland. But the people here that I meet are so nice. Uh,
Good.
and everybody is, about the same age. I joined an Italian club, believe it or not, but the it's full of people that are Italian, know Italian, think they're Italian, wish they were Italian, and all you do is pay your $30 dues and you can join.
Go.
So we have luncheons and things like, mostly women that do a lot of the work, but
Mhm.
it's the people here are nice that
Good.
I've been associated with,
Yeah.
and the
Are
weather.
you in a 55 and over?
Um, in one sense of the word, yes. They take care of the front, the house, the roof, the backyard, the shrubbery, the streets, the trees. But it's not really considered a senior community. However, during I may think about just during Halloween is the word I was thinking of. Absolutely no kids came by, and so I asked the neighbor. I said, "Well, did you have anybody come by your place?" I did buy some Reese's chocolate candy, and they said, "No, we don't have anybody. Nobody. There's no children in the vicinity, so it's quasi, senior community."
Mhm.
Works out nice, actually.
Yeah, good.
They take care of everything outside, and the house is, what we take care of. And
What
it's
area, what area are you living in? Near where?
this is Greensboro. It's
Okay.
almost right smack in the center of North Carolina. The mountains where we had the floods are to the west of where I am, probably 2 hours, because
Hmm.
that's how close it came. And if I go east towards the ocean, it's about a 3 to 4 hour ride. So kind of near the center of the state. But it's a good place to be. I'm
Good.
happy, and I have my high school girlfriend that we're together and we're enjoying life. As seniors, I guess.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm okay with it.
good.
That's cool.
We had some really good barbecue the other day, and I've been trying different places for barbecue, and found one recently. Found a good place for ribs. Had to look for it. I finally found a good place for ribs. But Italian food, I've yet to find any good Italian food. So
What about Philly subs? Any good Philly subs? Hoagie?
Well, just like yours, just like regular subs, Jersey Mike subs, uh, quite a few locations around here. And there's a couple other places that make subs, but Jersey Mike's has a little secret or something that they squirt on there that make them taste pretty good. But no special place for subs.
Yeah.
You know, we have a group here that on Wednesday they go to different restaurants uh, for lunch. And we went to this one place, and the guy said to me, "Oh, you have to come with us because they have the best Philly cheesesteaks." And they order Amorosa rolls from Philly and have them sent down. So I said, okay, and we went there. It's about a half-hour trip to get over there. And they said, what'd you think? I said, it was all right. It was good, but it's not worth a half an hour drive to get a steak that's just so-so. It wasn't anything to rave about. Like you said, I think Jersey Mike's is better than what this place was that they were all
Yeah.
saying was great.
Yeah, it's tough to beat Jersey Mike's. But I'm still looking for a good Italian place. Now, since I've joined the club, which has only been only like 2 months, or maybe not even that, we've talked about having some good food. So, um, Valentine Day, we're going out to have a special dinner at a special Italian place that has good Italian food. They swear. So we're going to see how that is.
See how it goes.
Is it called Chef Boyardee?
I don't know about that. Uh, but it's and kind of hanging around with older people too. So, everything moves kind of slow. So it takes time to get to a good place to eat, or just, I don't know. It's everything's kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the South.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sal, when I went out to Hiram Scott, people would say, everybody just says, where are you from? Jersey, here, there. And I'd say, Grand Island. No. Where are you from? Where's your family from? Well, they live in Grand Island too. And I didn't realize what the people were asking me. And they were asking me what my ethnicity was. And they said, no, your family, like, are you Italian or what are you? And I said, I don't know. Because I never thought of myself that way. And I remember sitting there thinking, did I ever know anybody that was Italian? Did I ever know anybody that was Jewish? Did I ever know anybody that was this, that? Because I just never thought of people that way. Now I live in the East where everybody thinks that way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true.
The
Hi,
thing
Steve.
that I remember is getting out of a car, and if you walk down the street in Scotts Bluff and didn't say hello to the people walking, they knew you were from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And that's true. Because everybody was the Midwest was friendlier than
Yeah.
us. But
Well, there's a lot going on in the world, and people try to be friendly. I do believe that, but there's a certain point where you don't overstep anymore. Like the guy that got in trouble on the subway for killing that guy. Tackling him down because he was assaulting or insulting somebody else that was on the train, and
Yeah.
he grabbed him. The Marine. People are not quite going to jump in to help somebody anymore because of things that were dramatized like that. He spent a year in and out of jail and going to court.
mhm.
I mean, that's a little bit much, like the Good Samaritan, hold the door open or help you if you need help. They kind of look around and see, what do I have to lose if I help this person?
Yeah. You got to be careful. Steve, how are you?
Oh, great. Sorry I'm a little late, but I was this was my day to, I volunteered to drive the van out of the port of Wainimi for Chiquita Banana, uh, the big ship. And it was my date, and I bring them to the Target or to Walmart or to the Camarillo outlet stores. And so I just got home. So I'm glad to join you guys. And but I do that twice, 2 to 3 times a month while I'm out here in California. It's a volunteer job, and it's a good job. Yeah, I like it, and I meet from the cap. I had the captain today. He's from Germany, and was a pretty neat guy to listen to and talk to. And most of the workers are from the Philippines, and so I just got back, and I'm just going to stay for a few minutes because I
Okay.
just got home, and I'm going to go down and have.
I thought you were selling your place.
Well, I'm thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about moving to a community of seniors,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I'm going to do it here or in Chicago. Certainly like the weather here a lot better, but
Oh, yeah.
and we're
Hey,
finally getting some rain today. Oh my God, that's why it took me so long to get home. Yeah,
Steve, are you anywhere near the fire? And are you anywhere near LA?
but yes, just thanks for bringing that up, Sav. We didn't get any fire here, but we sure got a hell of a lot of smoke and a lot of ash. And boy, I had to get the hose out and clean my decks out twice to get the ash out of there because it was just you walk on the deck to get in the house, and boy, you get it all in the house. And so I got the hose out and washed it down the drains, and yeah, we got a lot of ash and a lot of smoke, but thank God we didn't get any fire. So
Yeah.
thank you for asking. Yes. So, but
Well,
we're doing okay. We're fine. Doing okay, but it's really neat to get some rain. We haven't had rain for so long in Southern California that I hope we get at least a half inch today. It's coming down pretty good, even where the fires were at. It's not. It shouldn't be destructive to get a landslides.
Sure.
So it's we'll work on it. So, but I appreciate it, and I want to
well,
say thanks to all you guys for logging on. And but I'm just going to be here for a couple minutes, and I'm going to go down there. I'm hungry.
You are.
glad you're doing okay, Steve. You look good.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Bob, I don't know whether you know, Steve lives half the year in Chicago and half the year in California.
Yeah, I think I heard that on one of
Yeah.
the calls. Nice
Well,
life.
Well, what we do, we spend the winters and the summers here in California, so it's winter, and about I don't know 3 4 weeks, 4 weeks in March, middle of March, we go back to Chicago for 3 months, and then we come back here for the summer because it's a lot cooler here than in Chicago. So we've been taking 2 trips a year for the last 14 years, back and forth between Chicago and here in Ventura. So
Which place are you thinking of selling?
uh I don't know. Well, this one's worth about 5 times as much as the one in Chicago. I don't know. Bob, it's hard telling. It just I'm trying to think, and as long as my wife and I are healthy, we're going to keep doing what we're doing and just go back and forth because it's pretty neat. God blessed us, and we're both going to be 80 this year, and we're still doing this for going back and forth. So
Yeah.
That's
thank
terrific.
God.
Where are you in Chicago?
We're downtown. We're on
Oh.
15. Yeah, we're on 15th and State, right downtown. Well, it's actually the South Loop, and live in a high rise, and it's beautiful. We love it.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting story too. My oldest son graduated from Northwestern, then he went to med school, and then he bought this condo for I don't know, whatever. But anyway, he lived there for 6, 7 years and got married to a lady from Cleveland, and she was an attorney, and they wanted to move to California. So he sold it to my second son, who was wanting to move out of our house. And so he bought it for the same price. I says, hey, nobody's making money out of this. So
Yeah.
he bought it for the same price as our oldest son bought it for. And then he got married from a lady from Ohio too. And he moved out to San Diego. But anyway, then, and he sold that, or when he moved, I says, you know what, Agnes, let's sell this big old ass house and get out of the suburbs and move downtown. So I bought it for the same price that
Whoa.
originally, which was about 15 years ago. So,
I
so
think you made out.
I'm the guy that made out. But anyway, they'll get when we're dead, they'll get the proceeds. You know what I mean, Bob?
Yeah.
So that's a long story. It's a good story. It's a true story. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. So
Good deal.
it is a good deal. So, but thank you for asking.
Yeah. This
So,
is I told these other guys, this is my first house ever bought. After we got married in 72, we had 2.5 years in a small apartment. I paid $125 a month.
Oh my
No
God.
utilities paid. And we packed money away till we could get a starter house here. And we've stayed here ever since.
yeah. Yeah, we started out in the
Kids here.
apartment. We were paying $185. 2 years later, the lease was up, and they were raising the price to $210. Are you nuts? Who pays that much money for an apartment? And so we got rid of the lease and moved into Rosemary's basement, lived there for a year, and then when he sold the house, we bought a house in New Brunswick. But
When I first came to North Carolina, Jennifer had a 2-bedroom apartment in a closed community, gated community I'm in. And I moved some of my stuff in there in addition to what she had in there. And we were stepping over things all the time. She was paying $1,850 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment.
yeah,
Unbelievable.
no,
And that's in North Carolina.
And that's, yeah.
yeah. I'll tell you, a small 2-bedroom house here that's about 1,800 square feet just sold for 450,000, 490,000, I think it was. Yeah.
I live
Prices
in
are
a condo
ridiculous.
building, and we have a lady that just moved in here. Her house burned down, so she needed a place to live, and she thought she'll rent a place in here for a year and see if she likes it, and then buy a place in our building. But the landlord was asking $3,750 for a 2-bedroom apartment,
Yeah.
and she said
$3,750.
that's just way too much. So they got it down to $3,250, which I think is way too much. But hey.
Wow. I thought 1890 was, I thought 1800 was good. That's incredible.
Yeah.
My mortgage payment was $320 a month with the taxes when I first moved in.
First house that we bought, they cost us $30,000,
This was 34.
and they told us what the mortgage was going to be, and they said, "You want to escrow your taxes and insurance?" And I said, "How much is that?" And they said, "About $50 a month." I said, "No, I can't afford $50 more a month. I'll just pay the mortgage." So
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
what happened back then versus now. So
Yeah, 34,000 I paid for it.
Yeah.
But who knows? And I could have bought this monster home in a development about half a mile from here over there. And the real estate guy kept saying, you can afford it. You can afford it. Now I'm saying, no, can't afford it. It would have been about $10,000 more than I paid for this, for a huge home. But this is perfect for us, for
Yeah.
2 people.
Oh, you got a nice house.
Yeah,
He's got a
I
huge
don't need a
basement.
big mansion anymore. Nope.
Yeah.
But it's,
No,
we're
with,
gonna be here, they're gonna drag me out feet first, I think.
yeah, we've got about 1,200, just a little over 1,200 houses in our community. It's a gated community. And they sell about 40 a year come up for sale. As the people get older and move on. They resale is about 40 a month, and typically they last about 2 weeks on the market and they're gone.
I thought you were gonna look for a smaller house.
I was, and Gary, and I've thought about it, and I don't have a mortgage, and the taxes aren't that bad in Barnegat, and just to go through it all and so forth, I decided to just stay here. I mean, the upstairs, the 2 bedrooms upstairs and a sitting area and so forth, and separate utilities, but we never go up there. We wanted a big house because we place for the family when they came to visit. And that's when the kids were young and the grandkids were young and so forth, but they're now all doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And so the upstairs never gets used, and I looked at it and figured, well, I would want at least a 3-bedroom, because 1 bedroom for us, an office for Rosemary and 1 for me. And by the time we get done, I'd be looking at probably around here, probably around 3,000, 3,500 a month. Well, right now, I just pay a little less, about 900 a month for taxes. So I decided I didn't want to change 900 a month for 3,500.
Got a question for you guys. Okay, you all have houses and you all watch television. What size televisions do you have? What's the biggest TVs that you have? Have you gone into the big TVs?
I've got a 65.
A 65, okay.
Yeah, that's
I
what I've
have-
got, Bob. We've
I have
got
a
8
65
televisions.
also.
You got, who has 8 televisions?
We have 8 televisions. We have almost every one.
Well, the reason I ask is I've got, let me just turn this around.
Whoa.
Holy cow.
That's a 75. So I'm a little ahead of you there, Bob.
I got a 42.
It hasn't been put up yet, so I don't know. I've got somebody coming next week to put it up. It's going to go over the fireplace, if you can see that. Fireplace is right behind it. But
Jeez.
I saw where they have a new TV out. It's 95 inches and you can see through it. When you turn it off, it looks like it's just glass. There's no wires, nothing behind it. And it sells, I think they said, for something like $45,000.
Yeah, I've seen these TVs. Well, we have one at the condo in Chicago, where it'll be a TV, and when it goes off, it's like a picture of the mountains
Mhm.
or the desert or the
Yeah.
city, or it's a picture of it changes probably every 2 hours, but it's a photograph like it was a picture on a wall
Yeah,
instead of a television.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat,
Yeah.
actually.
But we had a 37-inch TV. And I said to my wife, we need to get a bigger TV. Let's go look for one. She said, just go get one. Whatever you want will be fine. So I said, okay. So I went out, and that's when I got to 65. And they delivered it the next day, and she was substitute teaching that day. She came home, and they had it set up on a table because I hadn't put it up on the wall yet. And she says, what the hell did you buy? That is so big. Well, now after having it for a number of years, she said to me, it's not as big now as what it was when we got it. So it just sort of blends in better. So
The biggest we have is 42. Right on the wall. It's going to be there till it drops.
I said the same thing, Gary, but we have right now. I'm watching about a 48 off to the side. It's right there. I think you can see it.
Yeah.
But we've looked around and we've been into other people's houses here and elsewhere, and everybody's got a big TV. And some
What
of
do
them,
you, all right, let me ask you something. What do you watch on TV?
well, we're watching more and more movies, but during the day, so much has gone on since we moved here that we do have a lot of news on. We're kind of like quasi news freaks, although we kind of watch maybe, definitely one movie a week, but maybe one and a half. And
I
sometimes,
can't tell you the last time I saw a movie.
really.
I get going downstairs in my shop or
Yeah.
outside or doing something. I just, I've
Yeah.
lost interest in the TV.
Yeah. Well, it's,
I'll say hi to Pete since no one else will.
All right. Hey, Peter.
Hi, Morris. How are you?
All right. How big is your TV?
I have a 60 some odd inch. I don't know.
yeah, that's a popular size though, 65.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The one I have is just a little bigger. I hope it fits where it's supposed to go.
Are you going to watch?
Well,
Are you going to be
know-
able to watch the Super Bowl on that big TV, Sam?
That would be my intention.
Yeah. Well, that's Sunday, and go Chiefs. I hope. Well,
The-
I don't know about you
Oh,
guys.
man, here we go.
Oh no! I started some BS here. I know.
The
Well,
Commanders
anyway,
almost-
I'm gonna go downstairs and I gotta have some dinner
All right.
tonight. I appreciate having you guys and
Yeah.
talking to you guys. So have
Steve,
a
good to see you.
month, and we'll see you next month. I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, Steve.
All
Take
right.
care,
Easy,
Steve.
Steve.
Okay.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I got to go in a few minutes too.
All right.
But yeah, it's it's nice to have a big screen. I just everybody that has every house that I've been in lately has got tremendous size,
Yeah.
and they're not very expensive anymore. Overall.
No, they're not. You can go to Best Buy and pick up 66 inches for $700,
Exactly. Yeah,
something like that. Or
What
Yeah.
brand is it?
it's a Samsung.
Okay.
yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, they're very nice. They have Samsung channels, and you can look at all the older TV shows are easily accessed through this. I watched Rifleman, Baywatch, Bonanza.
God, I haven't watched Bonanza in years.
Oh yeah, it's
You gotta get a life.
well, no, not that much. I'm slowing down though, Gary. Where it just, you come home.
Lav, get up in the modern age.
Dad, are you still working?
No, I'm not working. I do. I work. When we moved here to the house, we had to empty out 2 storage bins, 10 by 5. She had one and I had one. We moved them into the garage. I haven't parked my car in the garage, and neither has she. So we parked both our cars in the driveway, and we've been working at 1 or 2 boxes. It seems like it's taken us forever, and there's still, it's looking better, but we still can't park a car in there.
That's pretty funny.
I've been moving boxes, man, opening them up, looking at stuff. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a quick story here, then I got to go. But when we moved, everything was helter-skelter. I mean, we had these guys move us, and it took them over 8 hours to move us, both of us. So while just before I packed everything to move, I packed two pistols, of Glock and a 38 special, and I packed them. And when we emptied everything out of the trucks, I started looking for those things, and it scared me to death. And I thought for sure that they're going to get in the hands of somebody, and I was really upset about it. 2 days ago, I'm finally got the 99th box wrapped in towel, and the bottom of the box were my two pistols. And then I felt relieved because I really was concerned about losing those and somebody getting them.
You don't want that to fall in the wrong hands.
I know it really did scare me. I thought that I was, I didn't want to think about it, but anyway, I looked at the towel that I had wrapped them in, and I said, "Oh, the shroud of salvation," because it was just really I almost had a crying moment of, "Oh my God, I can stop worrying about them." But anyway,
I'm glad
that's
you found
that.
them.
Where's this?
I'm glad you found them.
Yeah, really. I really, seriously, I feel much better. I feel relieved.
Well, you'll have to talk to John. He's out there in Idaho, and he moved from California and he moved out to Idaho, and he does a lot of target shooting with his pistols. John Archibald.
So does Tikola.
Oh, John does too?
John Tikola has a number of guns, including a machine gun.
That's something you might need someday.
You never know.
If
If
you're
your
going
wife
deer,
says something.
Hey, I know one guy that's got, I don't know how many guns he's got, but I know he's got probably 3,000 or 4,000 rounds of ammunition.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a gun.
I don't have a gun.
When I moved to Jersey, I gave my guns away.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a single shot or single action revolver, 6-shooter, and I gave that to Mike Esposito. He was a probation officer at that point. And my rifle was a .308 Remington, for deer and so forth. And I gave that to my brother back in Kansas.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
I just have
mine was
22
security,
targets.
you just don't really know. I
Yeah.
don't think I'll ever have to use it, but
I
I
hope
hope
not.
not anyway. It's just not a good thing to
Right.
talk about, I guess. But listen, I'm gonna have to go.
All right.
Good talking to
Man,
you
your
all.
age, it's
Good
past
seeing
your bedtime.
everybody.
See you, Sam.
We'll try
Hey,
we'll try to get together again next month then.
Yep,
Lauren.
absolutely.
Take it easy,
Take
son.
care, Chad.
All right, buddy. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
Have a great time. We'll see you all later on.
Will
Be
do.
safe.
Goodbye now.
Hey,
Yes,
Herb,
Hey.
I was talking to my friend down in Roswell. I'm told it was really cold there in Atlanta.
Real cold. We just talked about that. Yeah. Too damn cold. I said if I wanted it this cold, I would have stayed in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I saw you a picture on Facebook with you, I think, and your grandchildren in the snow.
They were having a grand old time in the snow.
Well, they don't see much snow, do they?
No.
So,
They sent me a picture years ago when they first moved down. Next to their house, they had like a slope that went down. And my daughter said it snowed here last night, and the kids are out sledding down this hill. And she sent me a picture, and I said, well, you can still see the grass. That's not snow. That's just nothing. Well, now it was really a lot of snow that we got.
interesting. Bob, do you live near Herb, or you're in the Carolinas also, aren't you?
No, I'm northeast of Atlanta. What would you say, hour and a half?
Yeah,
Herb,
about an hour and a half away.
Well,
That
that's
could
not
be,
that far.
it's only 3 miles, but it's still
Yeah.
an hour and a half.
No easy way to get there.
Are we talking about heavy traffic?
Yes,
Heavy traffic. That's what
never
I-
ends.
Where our condo is right along the Beltway. So it's a good 6 lanes in each direction.
I know, I've been stuck on it.
And yeah, it's just bumper to bumper traffic. Now they're getting ready to put in express lanes that are going to be above the road. So we're going to have like 2 lanes in each direction above it. So there'll be 8 lanes of traffic there. So it's just,
Unbelievable.
it's crazy. I mean, it is just, now luckily in Atlanta, though, if you don't want to drive on the highways, there's enough parallel streets that it doesn't take you any longer or shorter to go on the parallel streets.
Wow. That doesn't sound like fun. You know, I came out of the airport and I was heading for Roswell, and it just took an enormous amount of time when it shouldn't have. Just tons of traffic everywhere.
At one point, we were looking at this, we were going to look to buy in Woodstock. And I said to the realtor, how far is it to the airport? And she said about an hour and a half. Well, I think she was being very generous at that point, because an hour and a half, if it's 2 in the morning, it could be much longer than that any other time of day.
Wow.
Hmm.
You know,
You know, Herb, you mentioned it, he asked you how far it was, and you said about an hour and a half. That's one of the things I had trouble getting used to at Hiram Scott. I'd ask somebody, you know, well, how far are you from New York City? And I say, what time of day? You know,
That's it.
right? And everybody would, you know, it was the measurement was time. It wasn't miles, but out west it's always miles, not time.
Well, we always joked about out west. In the east, you'd say to somebody, how do you get somewhere? And they'd say, you drive about, 2 miles up the road and make a left or make a right. Whereas out west, they'd say, drive a couple miles and head west, head east, head north.
Yeah,
Like in directions. And
yeah.
so, Pete, what's with you? I heard you were in the hospital.
yeah,
All right.
I've had a couple of problems on and off, but thank goodness I'm good. I'm really good.
Good.
I was radiated and then I passed out a little while back, and they thought I needed a what do you call it, a pacemaker, but they found that I didn't. It's just been one thing after another lately.
You gotta stop scaring us like this.
This getting old is not. This is not the golden years, except maybe we all have the gold, but the years are just passing us by. It's a
I'm
little
curious,
tough.
you guys that that used to be on the bowling team and at Hiram Scott. And in
I
our
remember
community
that.
here, I'm in a 55 plus community, and they've decided to start up a bowling league. And they've got like 24 teams. I went to practice. And boy, I've lost it. I can't even get to the foul line without tripping. I fell flat on my face across the foul line.
I'm in the same boat as you, Bob. I mean, I said to myself, I don't get a lot of exercise the way I want, so I went out and bought a bowling ball and shoes and tried it. And I felt like a paraplegic trying to throw the ball. It was awful. It was just challenging. I didn't know what else to say about it.
Did you keep going? Or did you quit?
I know. I bowled those 2 games and I felt like hell, and I said, that's it. And so now I'm going to physical therapy to try to get the therapist said I need to get my hips loose. And I think it's my knees, my hips, my back. I don't know.
Well, Herb, you used to bowl, didn't you?
Yeah. And when we first moved into this condo, one of my neighbors said, he's in a league. Do I want to bowl? So I bowled 2-3 years at this league. And then the one time I went to throw the ball, my foot stuck and I went flying.
No.
And they thought I I did damage my shoulder, but I finished bowling the night. My wife was so pissed at me. She says, if you hurt yourself, why didn't you stop? And I said, you got to finish the night. Then I went to the doctor. He thought I needed a rotator cuff surgery.
Oh, God.
But then when he got in there to do the work, he said it wasn't torn, it was just frayed. So,
Well, you want to avoid that rotator cuff stuff. I've done both of mine.
So have I.
Yeah.
the best I had
Both of
was
Very
taken care of.
painful.
about 2.5 years ago. I was feeling fine, but the one night I just passed out and they took me to the hospital and they found out that I had blood clots in both my lungs.
Wow.
And they'd say to me, the doctors would say, "Did you have this?" And part of the lung was leaning on my heart then from the
Wow.
weight. And they said, "Do you have chest pains?" I said, "No." "Did you have shortness of breath?" "No." "Did you have this?" "No." I mean, it was absolutely,
So how do they clear the blood clots out of your lung?
they went up through the groin and sucked out all the blood clots.
Wow.
And
Are you on blood thinners now?
yeah,
Yeah, me
but
too.
the nurse said to me, "You should go out, when you get out of here, you should go buy a lottery ticket. You're lucky to be alive." I said, "Thank you very much."
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
and then the other nurse came up when they suck out the blood clots, they have like a mat that they have next to where you're laying, and they put the clots where they take them out of the lungs, and they put these clots on this paper to show the doctor where all the clots were. And then they take a picture, and she came up and said, "You want to see the picture?" And my daughter says, "Yeah, let me see that." So she sent us the picture, and it's, you know, lucky to be alive, but it's still
No doubt.
interesting.
Blood,
And I haven't had any problems since, knock on wood. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if it passes to your heart, you're dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
I'm knocking wood. I had one of those home health, nurses come from the insurance company and check everything out and test you and take this measurement and that measurement. She was here for about an hour and a half, doing tests and stuff. And Rosemary got really irritated at her at the end because at the very end she said, "Well, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's working for you, so keep doing it."
Well, that's good.
After an hour and a half, Rosemary was kind of irritated that she didn't think that was a good medical report.
Well, they tried doing that with us through COVID. They kept calling. "We want to send somebody out to give you this free health evaluation." And my wife would say, "I don't want somebody from outside coming in. There's no reason." And I said, "You're right, because they're going to tell us what we know, that you should try and lose some weight. You should try and do this. You should try and do that." So I said, "What do I have to bring people in to tell me that for?"
Well, Rosemary had it done and they gave her $250. So she then thought that would be a good thing for me to do. And I did get $250 out of it.
Well, for 250, I might have considered. They were offering me 25. So,
Hey, are you guys telling me you can be bought?
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, I'm going to bow out here tonight.
All right, Bob,
Yeah.
good to see you.
So,
Bob, you take it easy.
Good to see you, Bob.
see you
Yeah, I'm
next
gonna
month.
get back and
Gary,
my pills and get ready
I'm
for
gonna get
bed.
my ass, I'm gonna send both of you an email again, and I'm gonna get my ass to Cherry Hill, and we're gonna go to Aldo Lamberti.
Yeah, I'll tell
The
you
place
what.
hasn't changed.
I think
And
I
I
have
want
a
you to
better
know,
chance of winning the lottery than seeing you three go to lunch.
I now have a car that doesn't have range anxiety. Got rid of the all-electric car.
You got rid of it?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
He's afraid
I
he's going
had
to kill
range
himself.
anxiety.
Because of anxiety?
Yeah, I thought I'd run out of charge, and in fact, BMW gave me $17,000 to get out of it. Well, I thought that was
What did you buy?
another BMW, a hybrid.
Oh, a hybrid.
Yeah, a plug-in hybrid. It looks exactly the same. Except that I don't have to worry about it running out of electric. It runs out of electric, the gas engine turns on.
Well, I'll tell you how good New Jersey is. I just got in the mail a letter from the state saying, my registration's up. Renew your registration. In this form, there was a piece of paper about this big.
Uh-huh.
It said, if you buy your car, you have to pay your electric car, you pay $250 a year for road tax because you're not contributing
Oh, to the gas.
to the gas. You got to pay $250 when you re-register your car, and every year it goes up $10.
Really?
If you
Yep.
buy an electric car in Jersey, do you have to have someone else plug it in for you? Since you're not allowed to fill your car with gas?
No, you're not.
I
You remember that?
I don't
huh?
know, but hey,
Hey, I'm giving my Jeep to my granddaughter in May. She turns 16, and I'm narrowed it down to 4 cars, but I'm going to get a gas engine. I'm not going to get an electric car.
I just got a gas. I'm not,
Like
I'm
you,
not big on.
I want to be able to, in my Jeep right now, I can go almost 500 miles on a tank of gas,
I understand.
and I don't have any trouble finding another gas station.
We don't have the infrastructure yet for
No.
the,
well, my daughter bought a Lexus all electric and she loves it. She thinks it's great. But
they are great.
she took my daughter to, or my granddaughter to a soccer tournament. And then it was coming up that she was getting low on electric. So they had to stop at like the Target shopping center that had a charger. She has an app that tells her where the closest charger is, and
Yeah.
sat there and charged it for an hour and then drove home.
Yeah, well, that is the problem. You got to get to the charger. You got to get in line to get into if there's other people there, and then you got to spend a half an hour to an hour to charging it. It's just, the technology isn't as good as it could be.
Right.
Well, we
What
had a shopping
happens when
center.
what happens when you're near the city and you live in a high rise? Everybody has electric cars. And how many chargers do you need in the basement? Okay. If you have 150 electric cars and in your building,
Oh, you need a lot.
yeah, but it's nuts.
It is.
We have a
We don't
shopping
have the
center
infrastructure yet.
that's about a mile from our condo, and I think they have 16 Tesla charging stations there. And whenever you drive in that shopping center, there's cars already parked, there. And I live in a high-rise condo building, so we have 244 units. And somebody wanted to get a charging station for our building, so we got one. And there's two plugs, a regular plug and a Tesla plug. And people were bitching about the cost of what this company charges for electric. And we
Well,
can't have individual, like my daughter has a house, so she has her charger in the house, but you can't do it in a condo building.
Yeah.
I had mine in my garage.
Right.
But
Oh.
the Tesla
Yes.
is probably the best of the group, as much as I really don't like Musk. But
Tesla has a regular garage where they sell them and repair them
yep,
halfway between here and Lombardi's, which is about a mile and a quarter.
that's right.
And they have it right on Route 70. But I'll take gas. I'll pay the extra.
I
gotta
told-
tell you, driving
when I was
around
buying-
town,
When we were buying a car for my wife last year, I asked the guy about electric versus gas. And I told him how many miles we drive a year. And he says, just get gas. He says, you don't drive enough to even worry about saving a little bit of gas.
Yeah,
But they do drive extremely well.
yeah,
That electric car I had, it was like a rocket ship on 4 tires.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
was-
when I looked at it and I figured I take it out on the beach fishing, and if something happened to the electric while I'm out there, if it's gas, I can go get some gas and bring it in, but I can't bring
Exactly.
electric in. So I'm
No,
going to stick with the gasoline engine.
Gentlemen, I'm going to drop off.
You are, Gary. Feel
Mr.
better.
All right, listen, you guys take it easy. We'll see you next month.
All right,
do well.
Pete. We'll talk to
You
you,
take
and
it
we'll
easy,
figure out a
Pete.
time when Gary's feeling good.
I'm gonna send you an email, Morris, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys finally before I'm dead.
Yeah,
And we're looking forward to seeing you too, Pete.
Yeah, and you too. I'm looking, both of you.
Okay.
I
And Morris, you're
apologize
going
for
to see me about that book?
the 71 you want.
Yeah,
Yep, I'll get it.
I'll pay for it, obviously.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. I think he said $40 or something that way, and he would pay for shipping. So whatever it is, I'll send him a check, and
All right.
I'll get it.
Thank you
Be
very
well,
much.
guys.
Have a good night.
All right.
Take care.
So Peter,
glad I got it.
how was your wine?
It was a good dinner. It was fun. It was fun being with the people I was with, my friends, and the wine was okay.
Good.
A little pedestrian. If you ever get up here and see my wine cellar, you'll understand.
I've seen your wine cellar.
Well, it's grown.
Oh, well, it was pretty good size last time but then it's run
Yeah.
maybe 40 years.
If my father ever saw that, he'd beat the shit out of me. But it's my only big vice.
Yeah, yeah,
I guess it could be worse, Mark.
yeah. Listen, if you can afford it and you get pleasure out of it, then why not?
I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, there's nothing
Lot of
better
fun
than spending your money on things you enjoy.
I understand, and you too, and we've both been very blessed and very
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, no complaints.
Talk to you.
So, all right, Peter, you take care of
welcome.
yourself.
Nice to see you. I'm glad I got here in time to get you
Yeah.
guys.
Me too, and hope you will be available next month.
We're gonna make that work.
All right, you
Bye.
take care.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.